Okay, hi everyone. My name is Laura. I'm a mental health educator and certified mindfulness teacher, and I wanted to thank Shilpa for inviting me here today. We have had so many amazing speakers, and there's so many wonderful tables to visit, so much doing. So I just wanted to begin with a little bit of quiet, just to give you an invitation just to be, to take in the sound here today, take in the temperature of the air, the feeling, the experience of just being, just dropping all the doing for 30 seconds. So whether you're seated here in front of me or if you can hear me and you want to just take a breath, I'm going to set my timer now for, we'll do 1 minute. And I invite you to close your eyes, become still, and just let the sounds of this moment come to you. Listening to the soundscape of this moment. And if you're ready, you can invite a small smile to the corners of your lips. And you can open your eyes. And just notice how it felt, just to pause and to listen, letting the sounds come to you. Notice how it feels just to drop into being and drop all the doing just for this past 30 seconds, 60 seconds. And when you're ready, you can open the eyes. Great. So once again, my name is Laura. I've been in the mental health field for decades, but my favorite job is as a mother. I have 3 kids. Right now they are 12 and 14 and 17. So my mental health practice has really been informed by my role as a mom. And now I work with moms at all different stages of motherhood to provide the tools that I wish that I had 17 years ago when my first child was born. I work with moms who are stressed, moms who are overwhelmed and would like to learn how to take care of themselves so that they can take care of their own kids. It's like what we hear on the airplane, put on an oxygen mask first before you assist someone else. And there is huge value to parents learning mental health skills for ourselves, building our own resilience so that we can handle the ups and downs in life with better ease. And we can build these skills like patience and regulating our emotions and self-kindness, and simply the ability to just go a little bit easier on ourselves. And the best way that I have found to build these skills is through mindfulness practices. So I wanted to speak for a moment about why building these skills is so especially important for parents. Because everyone is stressed, of course, and everyone can benefit from learning how to manage difficult times, but it's especially important for parents because, as we heard earlier from Donna, our kids' nervous systems, which is basically their control tower for how they respond to the world around them, their nervous systems are attached to our nervous systems. In fact, that is true for mammals. All mammals regulate nervous systems in the presence of other stable nervous systems. So kids and teens who, as we learned a little earlier, do not have a fully mature brain, so they don't have all the hardwire in place yet to be stable, they, quite frankly, need our stability to anchor to. If we are not stable, our kids are not stable. And I often have parents call me quite frequently and ask me to teach their kid how to meditate. Can you teach my kid how to stay calm, not to get as angry? And of course, I'm always happy to help. But the best way that I found that I can help children is by helping the parents. There is simply nothing that a professional can teach a child that is better than the feeling of a mom, a parent, a caregiver's calm presence. And having them simply watch their caregiver model how to shift from feeling stressed to feeling really stable. So how can we do this? There are decades of research that shows that what we practice grows stronger. If you want to learn how to bake a great bread, you practice. If you want to learn how to play a new instrument, you practice. And the same is true with all of these skills. If we want to get better at patience and emotional regulation and self-kindness, we simply practice. And the best way that I found to practice is through mindfulness exercises. And I'm going to lay out a couple of different options. We have formal mindfulness practices, and we have informal practices. Formal mindfulness practice, that means setting aside a fixed amount of time to practice bringing your awareness to the present moment. This can be a seated meditation. It could be a seated meditation that's silent. It could be a seated meditation that's guided. It can involve movement. It can involve yoga. It can involve walking meditation. It can even be really, really short, like a micro practice, what we did earlier, a 30 or 60-second practice. That can be a formal meditation. The second bucket of practice, that's informal practices. And that means we are intentionally bringing awareness to what we're doing, to ordinary activities that we're doing. So when we're brushing our teeth, we might be physically brushing our teeth, and our body might be there, we might be going through the motions, but mentally we're somewhere else. An informal mindfulness practice would invite you to notice what it feels like to brush your teeth. What are the textures? What do you smell in that moment? Can you go a little bit slower? So it's coming in to the moment and what you're already doing. Those are informal mindfulness practices. And the other component to this is a self-kindness component. I can't end this session today without sharing this one critical piece. Mindfulness is kind of like a bird with two wings. One wing is the awareness, and the second wing, that's self-kindness. So being aware of what's happening is great, but the other element is having some compassion for ourselves in the moment, and this is really, really key for parents. You can probably, if just a quick exercise, imagine what it would be like to treat yourself like you treat your best friend. And even imagining for a moment that you're giving a presentation at work and you might trip on your way up to the podium and your papers fly everywhere, maybe your drink spills, and how you might respond to yourself in that moment. And then picture the difference if you were sitting in that front row and your best friend was going up to give that presentation and you saw your best friend trip and your best friend get coffee all over themselves. How would you treat your best friend? And is there a difference in how you treat yourself than how you would treat your best friend? So self-compassion is tapping into that, is treating yourself like you would treat your friend. So there are practices that help us build this skill, build this skill of self-kindness. And we can do that through simple self-compassion breaks during the day. The self-compassion break is actually really quick and really effective. In a tough moment, You can simply say to yourself, ouch, this hurts. This is really challenging. Maybe this is a moment of suffering. Yep, it's here. And the second step to the self-compassion break is acknowledging that this is universal, that this is part of the human experience. Suffering happens in life, and I'm not alone in this. We might not all suffer in the same way, but we all know what it's like to hurt. And the last step in a self-compassion break is asking yourself, what do I need to support myself right now? Can I be kind to myself in this moment? And then you can even brainstorm some action steps. Do I need to step outside? Do I need to call a friend? Do I need to just splash some water on my face? Taking care of yourself with kindness in that moment. So rather than shutting down or berating ourselves during a tough time when we're triggered, or maybe numbing when we're hurting, a self-compassion break practice allows us to meet the difficulty with some courage and with some compassion. So I just wanted to close with remembering that the best gift we can give ourselves, the best gift we can give our kids is our own calm. Our own calming presence is medicine. And we can stay calm through so many different modalities. And I'm here to support you with meditations, micro meditations, informal practices that you can easily weave throughout your day. So my table's over there. I'd love to chat more with anyone who is interested. I have some QR codes that you can scan so that we can keep in touch. Thanks again to Shilpa and everyone who was involved in putting this wonderful day together. Be well.